want to know what is trending, where the biggest parties are, or who rocked it best, and how it unfolded? Sit back and catch your number one TV show where we bring you the glitz and glamour of Kigali's social life and nightlife, where we cover food, fashion, events, theme parties, and all your celebrities all in one go. All here on K250 every Wednesday 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on RTV. With your girl Axel. Don't miss out.
Yoo-hoo. Hello lovely people, welcome once again to your number one TV show K250, and I'm your girl Axel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Of course, today being Wednesday and the week is midway. I know you guys must be happy. You know, we are about to get to the weekend. You know, you guys, Thursday and Fridays are like my best days because I know the weekend is here. But guys, tonight I have so much for you that is so interesting. Of course, you know it's December, and that means there's so many parties that are happening around. And every party that happens here, of course, has to make sure it's happening to its best. Guys come dressed so well, people come so happy, performances, everything is on point. This is why K250 has to be there, of course, so that we get you all the exclusives. And if you missed, or if you went to one party, we went to the other one, you know, us, we are on every party. So if you attended this, my friend, you might have missed this one because there's so many parties that are happening on same day. So guys, sit back and enjoy this episode. As I told you guys, we are everywhere, absolutely everywhere. We are there for you to just get for you what you missed. And you know, Swedish embassy here, it's celebrating 20 years. You know, the diplomatic ties they have with Rwanda, they're celebrating 20 years here in Rwanda. And guess what? We had to be there to know what is the culture like, you know, in Sweden, and what is the culture like in Rwanda. What are the similarities that we have with them? And of course, but then it had a theme, and this theme was so interesting, guys. The conversations that were there, the panel that was there, it was so interesting. I was hooked. I was just like this, and I'm like, wow. wow, I love learning about different cultures. It's so good because it opens up your mind. First of all, you get to know what happens in the other culture, you get to know what happens in your culture, and at the end of the day you're like, okay, so what is the meeting point, or what are the differences so that we have, because you're going to meet those people, you're going to live with them at one point. You cannot say that you'll never live with them. Maybe you'll never live in Sweden, so you have to understand how they live. But guess what the theme was? It was fatherhood. So interesting. Of course, we have fathers, loving fathers here in Rwanda, and Sweden has like amazing fathers, amazing sons, amazing men who are aspiring to be fathers, who have been fathers, who are still fathers, guys. So we're there to talk about what we share in common and how far we have come with them, of course, as Rwanda. And of course, we're looking ahead, trying to see, okay, these have been 20 years, okay, they have been like this and this, so what are the 20 years going to be like? I spoke to so many fathers from Sweden, from the US, from everywhere, and they were telling us how fatherhood is, and of course without forgetting our very own fathers from Rwanda, to know how is fatherhood in Rwanda and how can we even improve it. Guess what, guys? They were saying that in Rwanda we should have, that fathers, actually I'm not a father, fathers should have parental leave as well. Like, when you've given birth, mothers have been having maternity leave, but even fathers should have, because that happens in Sweden. But we're going to see how far it goes, but still we share so much. And I spoke to the ambassador of Sweden here in Rwanda, and she had an amazing message for Rwanda. Guys, you're going to enjoy this and you're going to fall in love with Sweden. I am telling you, just sit back and enjoy this. As we are celebrating, of course, 20 years of the Swedish embassy here, but of course we are speaking about fatherhood, and this is a festive season. We have to speak to people and know what they're up to in December and how they found this. And I'm here with Jacob. Hi, Jacob.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from Denmark originally, so
you're
country of Sweden.
Oh, wow. So we've been talking about fatherhood in Sweden and then in Rwanda, but how is fatherhood back in Denmark?
Well, it's quite similar to Sweden. I'd say we are a little bit behind. The Swedes are a bit further ahead in terms of gender equality, and particularly something like paternity leave. The Swedes are doing a little bit better than the Danes, but we're in there in the top 3 in the world in terms of number of days that fathers take with their children. So yes, we're doing quite well.
How long is your leave, father leave?
Unfortunately, when I had my daughter, I only got 2 weeks because I work for the UN, and in the UN you only get 2 weeks as a father.
I'm speaking to mostly men because this is about fatherhood, and I need to understand what fatherhood, is exactly. And for you guys who are not part of this event, to actually understand what is fatherhood in different countries, and also here in Rwanda, as we had the discussion here, and I'm with Jordan here. Hi, Jordan.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I'm from the United States, actually.
So we had different stories about fatherhood in Sweden and then in Rwanda. But how is fatherhood in the US?
Fatherhood is it's an important part of American life, of course, as you know. But I have spent the last 4 years in Sweden, so I have a good understanding of, I think, fatherhood in Sweden as well.
What thing do you remember about your father? If you grew up with your father, that you say as maybe, if, I don't know if you're a father now, if you're going to be a father, and you say, this is something that I got from my father, I'm actually going to carry on to my kids.
My father was a kind, patient man, always with us as the kids. He also, did a lot of the parenting as well as my mother, so it wasn't just a relationship with my mom. He shared a lot of the responsibilities and duties, and I think that's something I want to do for my children as well. I want to be very involved with their lives.
I think that the highlight of being a father is being challenged by your children. particularly being challenged by someone who is so similar to you, and you can see yourself in them, and then they challenge you in a way which really sort of gets to you and really touches you deep inside.
I don't know about other parts of the world, but as I think you had someone here say, there's what we call the head of the family. The man has to be the head of the family, of which they're trying to minimize and say, no, everyone can be the head. But how is it back in the US?
Well, I mean, you know, for a family to work, there can't just be one leader. You know, everybody has to work together, and everybody has to share responsibilities of being a family. Yeah, so that's the whole idea. Is that you know, sometimes the mother is the head of the family, sometimes the father is the head of the family, and I think that's, well, you know, the U.S. is a big country, yeah. So some parts of the country it's like that, and other parts of the country it's not like that. But for me, that's what I believe, yeah. That you have to share that role.
Very interesting panel here that actually discussed about fatherhood, which was very interesting. You know, the questions that were being asked, and of course I am here with the lady that was behind all this. She carried us all through this conversation, and she's the one who was, you know, firing the questions. And actually it was very interesting questions coming from a lady, and we are speaking about fatherhood, and our very own from Rwanda. Hi, thanks for speaking to us.
My pleasure.
We talked about fatherhood, but I want us, because I think you understood more than we did, you being on the panel and asking the questions, firing the questions at the fathers and the mothers from both countries. What is that one difference between fathers in Sweden and then in Rwanda?
The key difference is, first of all, the context. It was very clear from the interventions that economic growth has set the scene for a better redistribution of roles in the family, and particularly in the care work. The prosperity that Sweden gained in the 60s and the 70s made it possible to carry out reforms, both in the legislation, but as well as in terms of creating an environment that is woman-friendly. It came on the form of parental leaves, but it came also in the forms of improving caretaking to release the woman from her traditional burden of work. And also, it's very important to know that that prosperity allowed Sweden to offer to mothers to have all 1 year full of work with allowances to help her remain independent. In addition to that, they have also a strong father's leave that is compulsory of 6 months. So that's the key difference, because at the same time we saw clearly that both in Rwanda and in Swedish, the talent fathers may have in raising their children and also caring for their homes are more or less similar, provided environment. We also learned that it matters when socially there is a promotion of positive masculinity, as well as valuing fatherhood as something.
Christmas is very big in Denmark. It's all about family. It's all about being at home with your family and cooking a lot of food. In Denmark, we eat a lot of pork for Christmas, so it's a very big deal.
Okay, so you can send out your shout-outs for Christmas, whatever you want to say to your family and friends. Feel free to say that.
That's great, because I'm actually spending my Christmas in Rwanda this year. So that's my first Christmas in Rwanda. But I'd love to send out Christmas greetings to my family, to my mother, to my wonderful sisters back in Denmark. If you're watching this, Merry Christmas.
I'm speaking to Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Sweden here in Rwanda, Ambassador Jenny, and we are delighted to be with you. Thanks for speaking to us, Jenny.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting us to this celebration. 20 years is such a big deal. How has the 20 years been?
Oh, they've been very interesting. We didn't know Rwanda at all before we came here. So year by year, we've become closer, worked more together. So it's been an exciting journey.
Why did you choose fatherhood? As you're celebrating 20 years, the 20th anniversary, why did you choose fatherhood?
Well, it's an interesting story to that. We got offered to show an exhibition called Swedish Dads. And it's been shown in many countries. So they asked us, do you want to show it in Rwanda? And we said, oh, yeah, let's do it. And then when we were thinking about a theme for the celebration, we thought, okay, we can look back. We can make like an exhibition of what we've done for 20 years. Yeah. No, let's look forward. Let's find something we can discuss with Rwanda that is more future-oriented. So we picked this theme of gender equality, fatherhood. It concerns both of us. So it's actually showing what we want for the future. We want to discuss issues with you that are common concerns for us.
For Christmas, our family, we had a pretty traditional American Christmas. I think we, as children, we would, wait for the presents to come underneath the tree. I come from the north, so we had snow, lots of Christmas lights everywhere in town. We had a big Christmas tree, kind of those classic traditional images of what Christmas is. But now that I live in Sweden with my partner, we go back and forth. So one year we go to Sweden for Christmas, the next year we go back to the US and spend it with my family.
So you can send your Christmas greetings to whoever you want to send them to.
Okay, wow. Well, I just want to say Merry Christmas to my family, friends back home in the United States and Sweden. Merry Christmas to everyone here in Rwanda. And thank you.
Well, in Swedish you would say God jul och gott nytt år.
What does it? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Oh, thank you so much.
Good evening. Friends of Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, welcome. Something amazing happened this morning. When I woke up, I found a letter outside the Swedish residence. It's actually a letter from the Kingdom of Sweden to the Republic of Rwanda. So I thought I would read you this letter, since we are in Rwanda. Dear Rwanda, do you remember when we first met? It was in Kigali in 1997, and I, the Kingdom of Sweden, made the first move. Some of your people had met briefly with my people a few years earlier in the hallways of the United Nations in New York. Some of your people were in despair. Your country was being turned into ashes, and many of your people were being murdered. You needed advice on how to influence the Security Council. One of my representatives tried to help out with some contacts and support. Our term in the Security Council had just ended, and we thought we knew a little bit of how the UN machinery worked. But we all know it did not work out. Too little was done, too late. It is actually you, dear Rwanda, who reminded us of this story of the meeting between a Swedish diplomat and an RPF representative in the UN. And you told us that Sweden did try to help and shouldn't have to apologize for the failures of the world in '94. But of course we apologized. We were part of an international community that failed you. We should have done more. But we were caught up in celebrating the historical events in South Africa with peoples and liberation movements we had been friends with for many years. We did not know you by then. Our relationship had not yet started. Dear Rwanda, do you remember that we started to visit you quite quickly after the genocide against the Tutsi? In 1994, the meetings included humanitarian support, hope, despair, misunderstandings, sweat, and new friendships. But we never stayed over. We were based in Nairobi, but something started to grow during these meetings, a curiosity. You were so different from us in a million ways. and still these seeds of similarities. Perhaps it was your view on women and gender equality, your love for order, structure, and organization, your somewhat reserved personality, so similar to ours, the sky-high political ambitions. You know, we had them too when we built our welfare state. We decided we wanted to move in with you, not because of guilt, but because of curiosity, and you accepted. But dear Rwanda, remember this. The day we stop caring about these issues, that is the day we are not considering us as equals with that people anymore.
So guys, I received news from you guys actually that last week you dropped it, like 80% of you guys dropped it because you were scared, you were threatened by whatever we showed you guys. But guess what? You are not wrong, because I also dropped it by the. But this is the time you're going to like it or drop it. But this time I hope you like it, guys, because it's so interesting. It got me laughing and rolling down like on the floor. Guys, this is the time you get to tell your friend, you get to ask whoever you're watching with, do you like it or do you drop it? And if you drop it, still you will let us know on our social media pages if you like, so if you dropped it. So please sit back and please, you have to get back to me, okay? Don't just like or drop it and then you don't get back to me. Get back to me. I'm waiting for your feedback right here.
Richie run round, Richie found out he could steal. Richie's become a big deal. He hit the hot spot, every single club on the street. They're calling him the dance thief. Richie's eyes glide, looking for the moves he can claim. Takes them for his wicked fame. Of all the places, all the things we've heard all these years,
Honorable Minister of Finance, Ambassador Clave Gatete, Minister of Commerce, Governor of the Central Bank, invited guests, my colleague bankers, Miriwe. This year, the theme of our gala night is Digital Financial Services for Inclusive Growth. Okay, so it's Digital Financial Services for Inclusive Growth. And this is a very well-intentioned theme that is reflective of the aspirations of our country to progress towards being a technology-driven middle-income economy. In this respect, the choice of Digital Financial Services for Inclusive Growth is our resolve, our commitment as the banking sector to continue to play our role in leading and making these aspirations a reality. So congratulations to you all for that commitment that you make by being here tonight. So the journey has begun, and as you can see, the world of technology is moving very fast. If we are not careful, as I said earlier on, the new technologies will render us irrelevant, but yet again, the new technologies bring a lot of opportunities for us to be able to build new business models and offer our banking service in a way that is relevant to the customers that we shall be serving. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your dinner, enjoy the evening. The profits are still there, and we can still make more. But we could actually even make more by embracing and running away with digital financial services before others who are not banks, who are not financial service providers, run away with our cheese. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Oh, okay. Charles? Yeah. Who's mine?
KCB.
A round of applause for KCB, the big winner of the exercise.
Our guest of honor, distinguished guests, the banking sector is an important force that supports economic growth and development of any country. I do not need to stress this, the role it plays, because the 2007-8 financial crisis, one of the worst the global economy has ever seen, reminds us that when the banking sector sneezes, the wider economy catches full. I'm happy to report that our banking sector has been performing well, and I can confidently assure you on behalf of these bankers here that we will continue to do our best. Going forward, we expect a positive economic momentum to continue and the banking sector to remain its strong performance. Indeed, as indicated by the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, we expect economic growth to be 5.2% in 2017, increasing to 6.5% in 2018 and to 7.5% in 2018. The banking sector is expected to contribute and at the same time benefit from this positive trend in economic performance. Our guest of honor, distinguished guests, although I have enjoyed the reception at this dinner, what caught my eye the most is the theme of the day: digital finance for all, powering inclusive growth. RBA, mwakoze kugendana n'ibigezweho.
The topic here is combining several things. It is combining money, it's combining digital, and development for all. I don't think there is any better topic that would replace this one, because this is all we need. While the chairman of the Bankers Association was talking and the governor, I was really becoming very hopeful, especially for our vision. Somehow we are now almost completing our vision 2050, where we are looking at 2035, where we are likely to be an upper middle income, with a GDP per capita of about 4,000 US dollars, and a high income country by the year 2050. Now, among so many pillars that we put in place to drive our economy is IT, science and technology, and financial sector. For financial sector, as you recall, the government has been working closely with you in terms of developing the financial sector. We actually started with being part of the financial sector because we had shares, we had banks, and as we developed the capacity, we kept privatizing them. We privatized our shares in BK, we sold our shares in I&M, we are about to sell shares in another bank, not long time from now. But at the same time, when you started attracting more of the banking system and the insurance, we also added the capital market, which also helped. And we added the circles to make sure that you have a vibrant financial system. And very soon, we are adding another element of making Rwanda, Kigali, an international financial hub. Very soon, so you better get prepared. I don't think that you can become a financial hub where you are managing the resources you have now, the resources coming from outside, to be invested here and to be invested outside with the capacity that you have now. It is high time we started thinking, as the governor mentioned, of building a higher capacity, because we are bringing another challenge for you. It's a very sweet challenge, but it's a very important challenge. So you need way, way more capacity than you have now. We have also been talking about the IT that helps the finance side. Yes, we've been developing together. I remember from the year 2009, when the central bank led the process of digitizing and introduced the RIPs, all the banks followed suit, and they also modernized their own banking systems. They actually started reaching out to the ordinary people to use IT, to use their phones, to use their ATMs, to use their POS, and using the cards. And the campaign has continued over and over again. But on the side of the government also, apart from the infrastructure they put in place, of the broadband infrastructure, we started now also linking the entire government within the e-government. Even for the financial system, for the payment system, our IFMIS now is almost reaching the lowest level of government. Very much integrated, and we are working on the last bit, linking with the central bank to make sure that every payment is electronic. We no longer pay anybody cash as government. Even the people who are traveling in the country and outside the country, nobody is paid cash, to make sure that we can lead by example. Today we are discussing with the Minister of ICT on how to reach the entire village, to make sure that they are all connected. Because you have introduced Irembo, the Rwanda Online, to make sure that even ordinary people can have access to that. Ensure that we pay taxes using IT. We pay for any services, as you normally do, for electricity, for water, for fertilizer, for anything that you want, in any sector, using IT. To make sure that not only the economic side, but also on the social side. Social media has taken on most of the things. We communicate now using the IT. The governance is now also taking over. So we cannot really avoid this because it's very important. But in terms of payment, it's good for all of us. If we can all make sure that we use the IT system to do the payment, definitely the banks are happy because all the money remains in the bank. You just have to debit or credit. But it says where it is, and you are getting more of that. At the same time, the consumers are happy because they are safe. They don't have to worry about anything. Their money is safe. We no longer have to carry so much cash to show people that we are very important. Now you can just carry a card. It also makes you important. It's very. So at the same time, the regulator is happy because he doesn't have to print money. So everybody is a winner in the whole game as long as we use the IT to move the money. And at the same time, we should be able to benefit from the government policy of making sure that we encourage the science, technology, engineering. We are doing it in terms of the scholarships we give for STEM. We are doing it in terms of encouraging the institutions that are located here. We have the SDG Center that is here, that is doing quite a lot in that area. We have attracted the Africa Institute of Mathematical Science, which is doing a lot of work in science and technology. Carnegie Mellon University is right here. We have 4 centers of excellence, including Internet for All. We are investing heavily in that area of science and technology. This is to make sure that what we are doing can be sustained. And ICT, in terms of policy, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of leadership, in terms of quality and security, it's almost #1 priority for us in the country because it acts as an enabler, but it's also a product in itself. This is very, very important, and we need to take advantage of that. With this, it helps really for us to promote our banking system, especially now that we are going to become an international financial hub. This is the only way that we can compete globally. Because as you see, everything is changing almost by the year. The banking 10 years ago is not the same thing as banking today. It's totally different. And we are happy that our banking system are responding. The topic itself says it all. It is saying we have reached the era where we need to do banking, but also use IT to make sure that we can grow the economy. So for us, we cannot have it better than what we have proposed. As a government, we are here to support you. We are here to work with you, and we move together going forward. I didn't want to go through the numbers here tonight. I just came to thank you so much. I believe the reason why you are holding the gala dinner towards the end of the year is because you have all made profit. And all you are coming here for Thanksgiving for the profit that you have made for your shareholders. Tonight is to thank you so much. And next time, we can meet in a bigger place, invite many of your shareholders so that you can enjoy it together. And for now, we wish to thank you and wish you the best of Christmas and New Year for you and your families and all your clients. So thank you so much.
It's been amazing chilling with you guys, but of course, you know, this has to come to an end. And guess why it's coming to an end? I have to go rush somewhere and get for you guys, you know, some juicy stuff. You know, I have so many events that are coming up, being the festive season. I hope you guys are enjoying, and I hope you're ready for your Christmas. Actually, I told you guys I'm going to be the first one to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate, please visit a friend who celebrates, or you can even visit us at K250 because we celebrate Christmas. We might have a lot for you guys in store. You just have to visit our Facebook page, which is K250 Show, and you can even like us on Instagram, Neb Films. You can follow us. Our YouTube channel is Neb Films. You can just write to us. There's a number right there that you can get back to us. And if you still want us to cover an event for you this time, even if it's a themed party, even if it's a private party, by the way, and you want to show people this is what happens in my private life, this is how I party, this is how I host parties, you can still call us on that number, and of course we'll be there. I have to say bye to you guys, but thank you so much for being amazing viewers. I love you guys, and thank you so much from the K250 team and Neb Films at large. We wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye for now. See you next week, same time, same place. Of course, RTV, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Bye. God bless.
You want to know what is trending, where the biggest parties are, or who rocked it best, and how it unfolded? Sit back and catch your #1 TV show where we bring you the glitz and glamour of Kigali's social life and nightlife, where we cover food, fashion, events, theme parties, and all your celebrities all in one go. All here on K250 every Wednesday 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on RTV. With your girl Axel. Don't miss out.
Yoo-hoo.